All right, welcome back for our last lesson in topic 16. So in this lesson, we are going to be looking at shapes that have the same area, but a different perimeter. Last time we had the same perimeter, different area. Now we have the same area, different perimeter. So just like figures that have the same perimeter, figures can also have the same area. And we actually already know something about this. We know that in multiplication, we have different combinations that will give us the same product. So here are some examples. 3 times 4 equals 12, but so does 2 times 6, and also 1 times 12. So when we look at these different combinations of these factors, these can also be the length and width of our rectangle. So this is actually 3 different rectangles we could make that all have the same exact area. So down here I want to draw them. So we're going to have a 3 and a 4 where the lengths and widths are about the same. And then here we'd have a 2 and a 6. And then a 1 and a 12 would be a very long, skinny shape. I just realized I did not fold my paper in half, and I want to do that before I keep going so I don't lose any work when I cut it. Whew. Made it. All right. So now I drew all these shapes with these lengths and widths, and they all have an area of 12. Area. 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, and 1 times 12 is 12. But now I want to find the perimeters. So in this case, they all have the same amount inside. So if I were going to get grass seed, I would need the same amount for this one, and this one. But now if I'm going to put fencing around it, it's going to be different. So pause the video now and find the perimeter of these shapes, and then meet me back to check your work. 3 and 4 is 7, double that, I'm going to have 14, 6, 7, 8, so it's going to be 16, 24, 25, 26. All right, so check it out. I've got a perimeter of 14 over here, a perimeter of 16, and a perimeter of 26. So now when I think about this, although they all have the same amount of space inside, the same area, the distance around the figures are different. And this one over here is much larger than the other two. All right, so now let's get going on our next part of this. So just like before, sometimes you're going to be asked to find 2 figures that have the same area but different perimeters. Other times you're going to be given a shape and asked to find one more. So up here we've got an area of 16. And now in order to find 2 figures, what we need to do is find 2 numbers that multiply together to equal 16. And there's different ways we can do it depending on your product. There might be 1 or 2 ways, there might be 4 or 5 ways. One way I like to always do if I'm ever stuck is I use the identity property, and I can always do a 1 times that area, and I can always make a shape that's 1 times whatever the area it might be. So that's always a quick way to find at least 1. And now thinking over here, I know I can do 2 times 8 is equal 16, or I can do a 4 times 4. So I'm going to choose the 4 times 4 this time. So now I've got the length and width of 2 different rectangles. This is going to be a 4 and a 4. And over here, we're going to have a 1 and a 16. So I found my side lengths, I drew my figure, and finally I need to find the perimeter of each. I'm going to add up all the side lengths. 4 groups of 4 is going to give me 16 square units. And over here I have 16 plus 16 is 32, 33, 34. Perimeter is not square units, just regular units. Sorry, 16 units. And over here I have 34 units. So over here we've got the same area for both, the same amount of space inside, but the perimeter around there is different. This one's only 16. This one to go around the figure would be 34 units. So the smaller perimeter is going to be this figure over here. So down here we need to find another shape that has the same area but a different perimeter, and we're going to circle the larger one. Again, I need to know what my area and perimeter is first. So I can do 5 times 3 is 15 square meters, and my perimeter is going to be 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 meters. So I need to find another shape that's going to have an area of 15. Again, I can always do a 1 and a 15 if I wanted to. or I can think of other factors. The only ones I can't choose here are that 3 and 5. And actually, the only other way to get 15 is by using a 1 and a 15. So I know that figure would be a long, skinny one. And now to find my perimeter, I'm going to add up all of these numbers. 15 and 15 is 30, 31, 32. So my perimeter equals 32 units. Same area, meters. Square meters, same area, but a different perimeter. And in this case, this one has a much larger perimeter. All right, so to recap, when you're trying to find a figure that has the same area, but a different perimeter, you want to find two new factors, or a length and a width, that equal that same area, draw your figure, and then find your perimeter. Find the two factors, draw your figure, and then find your perimeter. All right, don't forget to cut this in half and glue it in your notebook, and go ahead and get started on topic 16-5 and see your teacher if you need any review on 16-4 or 16-5. Have a great day, and I'll see you back here next time.